Why does sound matter in video games? Is it because it can create unforgettable experiences? Or is it because it can bring back nostalgic memories? Or is it because it can influence people around the world? Well, those are all questions I hope to answer today. By the way, I'm Dash, and let's get going. So, to begin, I want to establish what sounds we're going to be looking at in this video. In this video, we are not only going to be looking at those classic video game sounds that everyone knows, like this one, or this one. No, we're going to be looking at some more modern examples of great sound design in video games. More specifically, 5 examples of great sound design in video games. And with that, let's take a look at the first example. The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Sorry guys, I didn't think the game was that bad. Anyway, this game has some amazing sound design. I would particularly like to talk about how this game uses older pieces of music to create something new. One of the ways the game does this is with the main theme. The main theme for this game is basically perfect, and I feel like so many people don't talk about that enough. For one, this theme is a perfect continuation of Breath of the Wild's main theme. Since this game is a sequel to Breath of the Wild, the developers reflected that in the main theme, because just like how Link goes up into the sky in this game, the main theme goes higher than the original Breath of the Wild theme. Just so you can hear it for yourself, listen to this. I also really like how near the end of this song, it turns into this weird distorted sound, which fits the game because it's referencing the depths and the lurking presence under Hyrule Castle. Just listen to this. Overall, this song does an amazing job at not only showcasing new elements of the game, but also acting as a continuation of Breath of the Wild's main theme, using something old to create something new. Then there's sound effects that have been used in countless Zelda games in the past. Including these sounds are very important, not only because they serve as a connection to people who have played the Zelda series in the past, but these sounds also tend to act as a reward for the player. For example, in the game, one of the earliest puzzles you solve plays this sound right after you complete it. Now take a look at that same clip without the sound. It's just not the same. It's not fun, and it doesn't have the same effect that the sound does, which is why sound is so important in games. It can act as a reward for returning and new players. The last piece of sound I would like to talk about in Tears of the Kingdom is one particular boss theme, that being the Colgera boss theme. This theme is so cool. When I heard it, I paused the game and I was like, wait a minute, I remember that theme, but where's it from? Whoa! Oh, what just happened? Where am I? Hey, what's this? I remember now! That song! It's from Wind Waker! This song is amazing because it adds so much to the game. Firstly, it acts as a reference to The Legend of Zelda: Wind Waker, which is cool for returning fans of the series who will get this reference as soon as they hear this part of the song. Then, this song is also great for new fans of the series because it acts as an awesome boss theme that both sounds cool and is threatening. Overall, Tears of the Kingdom has some amazing sound design that stands out from the rest because of how it uses old music and sound effects to create something new, bringing in both old and new players to the series. However, what if a game, instead of having the music only affect the player, affected the world in which the game takes place. Metaphor ReFantazio uses music in a very different way to Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom's music tends to focus more on affecting the player playing the game than the people within the world of the game. However, with Metaphor, the music is fundamentally built into the game's world as a whole. At the start of the game, we learn that
music was the first magic this world ever knew, after all. Makes the road a little easier.
Immediately after the scene, the music of the game starts to play within the main character's head. This is super cool because it's not only the player that's hearing the music, but also the main character of the game, which instantly connects both the player and the main character to the music of Metaphor ReFantazio. Another great example of Metaphor connecting the game's music with the main character and the player is through the game's national anthem. The national anthem of the fictional land of Uchronia plays right before the main party sets out on their quest. The song is called Overflow Harmony, and I believe the purpose of this anthem is to really connect the player with the country of Metaphor ReFantazio. This song does a great job at this because it makes the world feel real, since countries in the real world have national anthems. And, as a side note, the animation in this scene looks so good. But overall, this song is great because it connects the player to the game by using a concept from the real world while also acting as a great send-off for our heroes. Alright, the next song I'm talking about contains heavy spoilers for Metaphor ReFantazio. So if you don't want to see those, go to the time shown up on screen. And 3, 2, 1, let's go! The last song that connects both the real world and the game that I would like to talk about is the song Arrow of Radiance. This song plays in the Montario Opera House scene where the main characters plan to kill Luis Guillerburn. This song works so well for one key reason. That being how it connects both the player and the main character's feelings during this scene. What I mean by this is there's so much tension in this scene with the main character trying to kill Luis, but you feel that same tension during the scene because as the scene builds, the music builds, and it all comes together so perfectly. And it's kind of hard to describe, so I highly recommend that you play the game. Also, these lyrics, are such a nice reference to the Persona series, which, speaking of... Alright, so here's the deal. I'm feeling a little rebellious. So we're talking about Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 Royal is not just a game with a great soundtrack. This game is a genre-defining RPG, and its music has shaped the world. It's so influential that there are Persona concerts for it, multiple spin-off games, a 15-volume manga, and a 26-episode anime, and so much more. Whoa, all this Persona 5 stuff is amazing! Whoa, I don't know what happened there. But anyway, how did Persona 5 become such an influential game with such influential music and sound? Well, let's start this thing off by talking about some of the sound effects in the game. One of the most important sound effects I immediately think of when talking about Persona 5 Royal is the sound of Joker ripping off the Mask of the Shadows. I love this sound, and I think the reason it sounds so impactful is because it represents revealing one's true self, which is an idea I believe a lot of people can relate with. Also, it just sounds awesome. Just listen to this.
I'll reveal your true form.
Maybe it's just me, but sounds like this that have a strong visual along with a strong meaning and audio are what make Persona 5 Royal so special. But what about some of the impactful songs in the game? Colors Flying High is the opening song for Persona 5 Royal, and wow, does it make an impression. This is how you should start a game. This song perfectly captures the themes of the game and is a big factor to why I think the game is so influential. This song starts with, well, I think I'll just show you.
You're back, you're out back, your new heart behind, claiming might is right. Raise your fist to the sky, what below your boots, calling me like.
As you can see, it's strong, rebellious, and relatable. since, you know, everyone's had a rebellious phase. I know I have. Overall, this song works so well, and it's a big factor in what makes Persona 5 Royal so special. And that was just one song. Songs like I Believe and Takeover also play big roles in making Persona 5 Royal stand out from the rest. However, what if there was a game series that focused on simplicity in its sound design and music, and was still just as influential? I love Plants vs. Zombies. I used to love Plants vs. Zombies. PvZ, the series I love, used to love. I don't know, I have a difficult relationship with this series. But the music and sound effects are pretty good, with 3 particular games in the series. The original game, composed by Laura Shigihara, who really defined what PvZ sounds like, and then you have the 2 Garden Warfare games, which took that format and made some new great tracks. So what makes PvZ music stand out? Well, I believe that it's the game's mixture of simple, recognizable sounds and songs that sound simple but have a lot of depth to them. Let's start off with the sound effects. The sound effects in the first game in particular are so good, from when Crazy Dave's brain gets eaten, or this iconic sound.
The zombies are coming.
They all work so well because of the fact that they are simple and super memorable. In fact, they're so memorable that I'm pretty sure the only way they got some of these sounds in the first place would be to record pea shooters and zombies live in studio. Alright, check, is everything good? Alright, and action. Alright, that good? Good. On to the next sound. Let's see here.
Brains.
Alright, and that's all the recording for today. Everything good? Okay, everyone can head home now. Good job, everyone. But aside from the amazing sounds in the original PvZ, the music is also just so good. Most of it starts off nice and simple, but then they have this really great drop. The best examples of this, I think, are Watery Graves and Graze the Roof. Just listen to this. Even though the Garden Warfare games were not composed by the same person who did the original PvZ, these games still follow a lot of similar ideas in its sound design. For example, in both of these games, there are some great simple sound effects that leave a strong impact. Some of my favorite examples of this are the sound effect when you get a kill, and I also really like the noises that Crazy Dave and Dr. Zomboss make whenever you have to capture a new area. Both are so good, and they are super great and simple sounds that I will never forget. Then there's the music, which is particularly good in the first Garden Warfare game, because what it does is it takes the amazing music from the original PvZ and turns it into this military sound which fits the more realistic military theme of the first Garden Warfare game. The best examples of this are the title theme and Loon Skirmish. Both of these are great remixes of the original songs. Just listen to this. Overall, phenomenal soundtracks and sound effects from all three of these great games. But what if we took everything previously talked about in this video and combined it into just one game? Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the game you get when you put everything together. Nostalgia, in-game sounds, influence, and simplicity. Super Smash Bros. Is the master of sound in video games. Everything in it is so good, and to show you this mastery of sound, I would like to show you some of the greatest uses of sound in all of gaming. First off, we gotta talk about the main theme, World of Light. This song plays every time you boot up the game, and it's amazing. It's become so iconic at this point, it would be weird to start the game without it. Like, here's the game with the song.
Colors weave into a spire of flame. Distant sparks call to a pastel.
Now here's the game without the song. I don't know about you, but something feels a little off here. But overall, World of Light is a super impactful song, and this game would not be the same without it. But what about some of the other iconic sounds in Smash? Well, if we are talking about great sounds, we have to talk about the announcer. The announcer, the voice of Smash Bros. He has so many iconic voice lines, from saying the names of the characters in the game,
Kazuya, Steve,
to that great overview video that Nintendo released when the game came out.
The ultimate showdown is almost here, and I, the announcer, invite you to smash your rivals off the stage in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate!
To, I don't know, home run contest?
Home Run Contest. New record!
Just everything he says is so iconic, and it's all so recognizable from the moment you hear it. It's just so perfect! There's just so many great sounds in this game that if I talked about all of them, we'd be here all day. So I'm just going to look at some of the most important sounds in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. One of the best things about this game is it has soundtracks from a ton of other games, like The Legend of Zelda, Mario, Xenoblade, and much more. And it also has all the character voice lines, which is just insane. Another thing I really like about this game are the songs that play when you're in the menu. They're really good and they hype you up for the next match. Also, all the sound effects for spikes and special attacks in the game sound amazing. And there's just so much more in this game that has to do with sound. It's just incredible. Masahiro Sakurai created a masterpiece, and every sound and song in this game reflects that. Overall, sound plays such an important part in video games, and without it, video games would just not be the same. So shout out to all those amazing video game composers out there. And make sure to check out the video up on screen where I take a look at Nintendo's best song. Anyway, see you next time. Bye.